What's up, YouTube? Demom Diggity here, and today we are gonna go over predictions for the upcoming ban list. There is announced that there's gonna be a ban list after the World Championships held in Japan, and so everyone has been speculating on what cards we think will get banned. Will anything come off the ban list? So we're just gonna go ahead and talk about it here, and basically discuss what cards people have been calling to get banned, want to get banned, all that sort of stuff. So let's get right into it. The first thing is people are calling for Sakazuki. Some people want Sakazuki banned. They want him gone, out of the meta. And I really don't think just him himself is that oppressive. I think the amount of tools and removal that the deck has, as we'll get into later, can feel oppressive. But as we've seen with most of the events lately, that Sakazuki is beatable. Yellow checks it pretty hard, and even purple is finding ways to adapt to be able to overcome and beat Sakazuki with some of the new purple Luffy lists that have been coming out recently. So I really think he isn't that bad for the meta. I think he's healthy, and with the coming formats, he's still gonna be relevant. But people are also still be playing Moria and Perona Yamato. But he will still be in the meta, but I don't ever feel like he was really this overwhelming deck that was just unstoppable, and that it was just every event was just he was just winning everything, because he really wasn't. If you look, it really was pretty balanced in the way that events ran, that he won. And so I don't think it would really justify himself getting banned. Now, could you limit some of the tools to maybe weaken the oppression and maybe make it feel better to play against? Yeah, where they get into that. But I don't think Sakazuki should be banned. Next card we'll talk about here is Green Doofy. I know a lot of people are talking about this card because green is becoming more and more relevant. And this guy basically just buys you a turn, because you're dropping him. You're establishing board advantage by playing a 10k body, and then limiting your opponent of what can attack the next turn. It's just basically stalling, giving you time to set up cards in your hand, and then even clear board, because they don't become active, so they're still rested. And the next turn you can just attack into them again. And if you drop these back to back, it just looks rough for your opponent. But we'll have to see. I don't think he should be banned outright. I think maybe limiting him to one or two could be good, but it's still, right now, I think it's pretty early to call on this guy. And I think other cards are more. I feel like other cards are more hated by the community, and they want them gone. So we'll have to see. Next, we'll talk about Kabaji. Do we think this guy could come off the ban list? Maybe. I feel like with the amount of removal in the format, it might be okay if he came off the ban list. But then Nami will just we'll just have to see, because they could always take him off. You just see Nami winning everything, and then he goes right back on. It's just so much consistency for Nami being a +1, and although you do have to combo it with Moji, I, I'm iffy, man. I'm iffy. I haven't played against Nami enough, and I didn't really play in the time where this card was dominating, where Nami was that good, which got him banned. So I don't really have that many thoughts on if this guy could come back. I want to say he possibly could, maybe even like limited, like one. He could come back as just a one of, but we'll have to wait and see. I know people also want Borsellino limited or banned. I don't think he's that. He's a good card. Don't get me wrong, staple in black decks, but protecting against the KO is really nice, because a lot of colors seem to KO. Black and blue are the only ones that really bottom deck stuff. But I don't see him getting banned. I don't think he's that oppressive of a card. Maybe they'll limit him down, but I still think Borsellino could be completely fine where he's at. Um, I feel like he's a strong, um, being a 6K blocker. Um, but I feel like there's just plenty of ways to deal with this card, and I think he really just hurts like in the mirror match. Um, but I just don't really have that many thoughts on Borsellino getting banned. I think he could be completely fine. I don't think they need to touch him. Um, Now let's get into yellow. Everyone hates playing against yellow because it just feels like the most luck sack color there is, and it just feels like you have to play around so many things just for them to maybe have it in their life and get lucky off of a trigger, and then you just lose the game. And a lot of people are starting straight away saying they want Lin Lin gone. They feel like this card is basically a win more, and it's basically if you drop this, you win, or you don't. You drop it and you lose. There's no like a middle ground to really play, um, like around it. It's just if you can get this out fast enough and you're already ahead, you've got the game won. If you can't get it out and you're losing, you've lost. That's basically the simplified version of this card. So everyone wants this gone. I mean, maybe if it could be a one of. I mean, I think that it'd be fine. Just like how Newgate was eventually limited to one. 110 drop Big Mom, I don't think would ruin everything because they still got to find it. But just having this as a four of it just seems like a win more kind of card, and people just want it gone. Same thing here with Beige. I know people want this gone because it's such a luck sack to have to play around this card, and like eventually you have to attack to go for game, and it makes the scenarios where you have to wait that much more because if you just push for game and they just flip this out of their life, you're just like, this is just rough because you taking up one of your attacks and having no drawback. It's literally just you pick something and it can't attack. Just sets up so many scenarios that just gives such good advantage for yellow. And a lot of people feel like maybe if this card had like a restriction where you had to trash some cards or you could only rest like a certain cost amount, it would be better. So maybe like a rework, but I know a lot of people just want this card gone or at least limited down because it just so much value for just the trigger ability, man. It is pretty crazy. Now let's go to move on to two more cards in Sakazuki that are pretty prevalent. Or three. The next four cards we're talking about are all going to be for Sakazuki. The first card here is Rebecca. I think people's main problem with this card is that it's just generic. I think if this card was only locked to Dressrosa leaders and being able to recur that kind of stuff, I don't think people would have a problem with this card at all. I think people want this card gone because especially next set when you get 8 cost Moria, you can just Moria to bring back Rebecca, to bring back Hina, and it's just the combos are just going to get crazier and crazier. I know Moria as well will be able to bring back like Borsellino and stuff like that, but I don't think that they're gonna touch OPO6, especially because it's just about to come out in the West. I don't think they're gonna hit anything or touch anything on that set. They'll at least give it probably a month or so to before they announce anything gets banned from that set. So that's why we're really just looking at the earlier sets. But I know a lot of people want Rebecca Khan. They hate this card, and they just think it just provides so much value, and it's only going to get better with the more recursion and stuff that Black gets into. I personally don't have the biggest problem with it. I think it's a card that my thing is I feel like if they hit Black, they have to hit yellow, and if they hit yellow, they have to hit Black. I feel like if they're gonna bring down the power level of those decks, they have to do it. They have to do both of them. I don't think one could just stay full power while the other gets hit. Um, I just think that that's a create a scenario that's rough for everyone. Um, and then I know there's the argument that if they hit Black and they hit yellow, then red might pop up all over the place. So it's just tough to see um, what they're gonna do. And that's why everyone's really interested. Everyone's really interested in this ban list because not only is it going to affect the meta and everything, but it will affect the market. It will affect prices of cards. So I know some people are panic selling because they don't know what's going to get hit. They just want to cash out now. Some people are just holding out to see like what happens after the ban list. And I just hope they drop it early enough so then people can get prepared for their tournaments upcoming and be able to get all the cards they need. Next, let's talk about Lucci. I know some people are talking about Lucci getting banned. Just the utility this guy has of being able to cycle stuff back into your deck and then just KOing stuff that you can just reduce so easily. I know people want this card gone. They feel like it's a lot of value. But I feel like if you remove some of Black's like cost reduction tools, like you could even limit the card we're about to get into. We'll talk right after this. Just go straight into Ice Age. Like if you get rid of Ice Age, I feel like this card won't be as big of a problem. It'll still be usable in Black, and they'll definitely still run it. But I don't think this card needs to be banned either. I really don't have any quells with it or beef. Ice Age though, this card can go because not only does it have a good the trigger effect is alright. K go something at 3 or less, get rid of blockers and stuff. I mean, if you don't need the effect, that's a really useful trigger. But just for one Dawn, being able to -5 with all the removal Black has is just absurd. Because you're just not safe with anything. Because basically, you're saying 5 Dawn, they could get rid of, like, what is Lucci? A cost of 2 or less? Like, your 8 costs aren't safe with Ice Age around. Your 7 cost, your 5 cost, like just think you spend a turn, you played your 5 cost down, and they just go Ice Age Lucci, and you're just like, well, there's my whole turn wasted. I just feel like a -5 is crazy for one Dawn. I feel like if it was like a one Dawn -3, it would still be good, but I feel like it wouldn't be as oppressive of removal. And I know people are saying that Moria is basically starting to run for this in every deck, just more removal. So I think Ice Age getting limited would probably be the right move. I don't think you need to ban it outright. I think you can leave one copy. Because I really don't think any card really needs to be outright banned, except maybe Kabaji. But if it is too strong in Nami, as a one of, which it still might be, but I think you could run all these as just limited to one, and you would be fine. I don't think you need to get it out of the meta completely. Let's go to Houndblaze. We skipped over that. A lot of people want this card gone because it's just such good early removal. And it gives you early value, being able to swing, getting plus 3k for only 2 Dawn so early, and being good removal really early on in the game too. People feel like it just creates too much of an early advantage for blue, or mainly just Sakazuki is really the only deck that really runs this card right now. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, maybe if they limit this to, it could be good. It could be okay. I don't think it needs to go to 1. I would probably say if they're going to do anything, it's probably either go to 2, ban it, or just leave it as 4. Because I think if they just get rid of the cost reduction cards instead of the removal itself, it'll probably be better. Because then you can still run it, but it'll just be harder to actually get stuff that low to remove. So we'll just have to wait and see what they decide to do. But I know people are calling for Houndblaze to get hit. Same here with Amaru. People want this card gone too, just because just yellow and triggers, and they're only getting more. Like another card people are talking about, is this card right here, the Reject. I know people are already complaining about this card because it's basically just another card you got to play around, because they can either just KO one of your blockers or just putting you on 0 life for 4 Dawn. Especially when you're going for lethal, it's just another way they can just go for lethal. And it's just another card you have to be wary about after you're already trying to play around the Capone, the Big Mom, Amaru, don't want him to heal back up. It's it's just another one of those cards just coming out where you're just like, dang, yellow's just getting all these tools. But I know people want Amaru gone. They think the heal, but I mean, at least the heal has a 2 trash cost. But I think the big problem is people just don't like the trigger system, honestly, or I feel like they think yellow's triggers are just too good compared to everything else, which is kind of true. Um, Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you guys think yellow has the most oppressive triggers? I definitely think they do, out of the whole format. And so that's why people kind of want this gone. I think, again, if you just limit it to 2 or 1, it could still be fine. But the last card we're going to talk about, guys, will the boat return? That is another big question on the ban list. A lot of people think this card is coming back. I know people have already been scooping up the pre-release versions. They've shot up like crazy. Because a lot of people feel like this card can come back in the meta. I mean, Whitebeard, a lot of people think a lot of the Whitebeard cards are... a lot of the Whitebeard cards are pretty slow. They're just vanillas. Maybe as Whitebeard gets more support, because you know there is going to be the Marco leader coming out. It might be too strong to have this back, but maybe they'll release it back for a little bit before that stuff is released in OPO8. And so a lot of people do think the boat could come back. It could be alive again, and I mean that would be so much fun. Not only for Whitebeard, but dude, Boat Ace. I've been wanting to play this for so long, and I think it would just be so funny to play Boat Ace. So we'll have to see what happens with the boat. I do hope it comes back. If it comes back and red starts being oppressive again, though, of course, like just get rid of it again. They could just do like a quick hot fix there and ban it again. But I think it would be fun to have a boat come back for a little bit and see what you could what Whitebeard could become again with the full power. So we'll have to wait and see for that. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the preliminary video right now, I think, on stuff that people have been calling for to get banned. If you have any cards that you think you want banned or should be limited, please let me know down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, of course, please leave a like. Really helps me out. And again, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you that chooses to subscribe and support the channel. And until next time, YouTube, we'll see you later.